Hi guys, it's June 8, 2022 and you're watching me, Nikki, also known as Faces Trader or Awesome10X here in the Philippine market update. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Philippine markets. Okay, all right. So market situation first. Your PSEI is trading at 6,800 and let's take a look at the index here. Index market value is about 3 billion pesos. That is a very low volume traded. We're seeing that Philippine market or Philippine issues are still very relatively thinly traded. Index movers, let's just read through read through the print, read through the prices. Ayala Land has since climbed back to about 32 pesos. Ayala Corp is now running at 700 pesos, possibly because of Ayala Land rising. So usually sabay tandem. Ali AC 32 and 698. Let's take a look at JG Summit 53 bucks. BPI 97, Jollibee 207, BDO 129, Meralco 366, Security Bank 93, Monde 14, Globe 2428, Asen 764, GT Cap 506, San Miguel 106, Converge 24, Metrobank 54, URC 106, MPI 380, Luciatan Group 846, Robinson's Land 19, AGI 10 peso, 1080 cents, Virgo 33.6, Aboitiz Power 3150, Megaroll 268, Telephone 1924, Wilcon 27 bucks, Emperador 1724, SM 860 pesos. So what you're seeing here is actually more of a catch up on Ayala Land share prices. What we're seeing is that Megaroll is also still very depressed here, 268, might actually climb back. In terms of stats, let's just read through it. No, total traded, top traded, you're seeing BDO, Ayala Land, SM Prime, AC, SecD. Most of these are index issues, save for the fact that on the 19th, yes, we're going to be discussing ASLAG. ASLAG IPO is trading below IPO today, 196. Still trading at about 52 million pesos, 26 million shares. That's a far cry from the 400 million pesos that was traded on its first day. So we can see that most of the issues have been traded on the first day. Around, if I recall, it was about 280 million shares being traded at about 225 average. So a lot of people who have ASLAG would roughly be at that level, 225, 280 million shares yun. A few of them would have bought here pa at 196, although I would assume na this is smaller because you're seeing just 20 million shares being traded going at these levels. So other than that, we're seeing as well Nicolasia trading at 738, DNL 7, Bloom 637. So issue-wise, we're still very thinly traded. Let's take a look at the top gainers. Top gainers with volume. Ever 28 cents, 183 trades, 12 million pesos value traded. Ayala Land is really the most top traded, no? Ayala Land, Security Bank up 3%. ASLAG top traded, you can see that 196 up 3% from yesterday's low. BHI continues to go up but relatively thinly traded na. But still good, no? We're still seeing 200 million shares trading BHI. Value is 24 million pesos. So let's go through the charts first before reading through the movements. Actually, sige, let's read through news first and then charts. In terms of ASLAG, we are seeing that they reported stabilization fund. Lumabas na yung mga stabilization fund yesterday when it broke below 2 pesos. I also tweeted it for those who are following me on Twitter. This is me. This is me, guys. Saan ba yun? Twitter. Yeah, this is me at Faces Trader if you want to follow me on Twitter. I shared the ASLAG na dito ko ba share yun? Yeah, so I tweeted this last night, yesterday. Each company has earnings power, even under terrible economic conditions. It would far exceed its interest payments. So my confidence or my opinion is justified by experience, knowledge that society will forever need huge investments in energy, including alternative energy. I was really discussing more on solars, although I am very bullish on solar and nuclear. And you can see on most of my tweets that I've been bullish on many companies abroad, like Sunrun, Uraniums. Our Uraniums just printed a very strong move last night after Joe Biden signed a $4.3 billion deal to do nuclear for USA. That's actually a very good news. So far, you should be aware that dollar peso is also hitting 53 pesos. That would be a headwind for all of us because we are mostly importing oil products. It's doing 52.88. We're still nearing 53 to 54 areas. So we're still in an uptrend on the dollar, which means that our peso is devaluing against other currencies abroad. And since we are a massive importer, we import oil, we import food, we basically import a lot of things. It's going to be very bad for the Philippine economy as the dollar peso continues to devalue, especially if it goes spiral up to about 54. So just a headwind to keep in mind. Nonetheless, if we are not borrowing in dollars naman, we are spending in pesos, it should be okay. If we earn dollars and spend in pesos, that's good for us. Which companies in the Philippines make money in dollars? Very few. We think that ICT, of course, ICT, the shipper, the Razon shipment, the container terminals is still very strong. You're seeing actually super science strength on ICT. You're seeing that, but that is not just ICT. It's actually happening to all the shippers worldwide. I'll show you a few shipping companies abroad. This is moving up now. Grabe, $2 to $28 for grind rod shipping. We're seeing in Hong Kong, Orient Overseas, nag-10x move din yan, 20 to 275, and continues to go higher. Zim actually gave a $20 cash dividend, and take a look at that, $10 to $70. A lot of shipping stocks in general are going up. Why? Because China has been buying a lot of these inventories, crude oil, and of course it has to be shipped. And there's a very few number of tankers in the world. So actually, one of the few tankers that we are looking at, ito marami tong utang, but since the shipping stocks are moving up, we are seeing a lot of buying pressure in NAT, Nordic American tankers. I'm looking at these levels because TUGS, which is the Philippine shipping stock, is also trying to rally here. Take a look at TUGS. It has rallied from 60 cents to 1 peso here. I'm not sure if it's going to go super high at about 1 peso or something, but something to take a look at in terms of shipping stocks. No, very few shipping stocks in the Philippines. I only know of TUGS and ICT. If you know anything more, just comment away and I'll be looking at it. Speaking of TUGS, no, let's take a look at what just happened. Why did it rally from 60 cents to 1 peso and actually trading at 94 cents today? All right, so company disclosures. A few days ago, well, unlike the shipping stocks abroad, most shipping stocks, if you've been analyzing the mga shipping stocks worldwide, they've been generating higher profits because 3 times to 10 times higher shipping rates. And that, of course, has spilled over towards issuing dividends. Harborstar hasn't issued dividends, but we can see that from their earnings standpoint, yung financial reports nila recently, in the quarterly report just on March 31, you could see a strong movement on the earnings already. So from previous year, 456 to about 731, that is an increase year to date, no? And then you're seeing, of course, from a loss of 66 to about 198 million pesos. I think that reversal on TUGS is really being brought about by the strong shipping rates worldwide. Of course, I don't know too much about TUGS. Basic company, I haven't really studied TUGS, if I'll be very honest. But looking on the industry standpoint, what I do know is that freight rates abroad are going up. So let's read through the company description. Company says here that they have, as of December 31, 2020, they've got operations in 15 base ports all over the country, approximately 6,600 ships. They have MICT, Manila, South Harbor, Bataan, Batangas, Cagayan de Oro, Davao, Iloilo. So these are all local. So what we know is that most of these vessels are local. So I'm not sure if the local is already raising the shipment rates. I know the worldwide rates are going up, 3x on the worldwide rates. Not sure about the Philippine shipping rates, but that could have been the main reason for the company to report from 66 million loss to about 200 million pesos profit. Let's take a look on the May 27 material informations and disclosures. Ande, wala yan. Board of Directors lang yan. Annual reports, yeah. So you can probably lean towards insights on their annual report if you wish to read that. But I think it's also the same. It's really just if you want to see the worldwide rates, I'm gonna take you to that BDI, Baltic Dry Index. So this is the index of most of the shipments worldwide, no? So this has gone up 800 to 5,000. It has since dropped, but it's still about 3x, no, for the year on year. 2021 is trading here at 1.1 and 2.5 to 3K. Wait up, guys. I just need to answer a phone call. Fast lang. Wait up, guys. Sandali. Okay, isn't ICTSI and MICT leading local shipping as they are our Manila terminal operators? Baltic Dry Index is more powerful because it's worldwide. So I think the more powerful move is ICT. I'm not too familiar of local, actually. Sandali. I'm looking mostly on world shippers. So malakas yung industry because China has been buying a lot of commodities worldwide. Speaking of China buying all commodities worldwide, you're seeing bullish movements. So nagsabay yung clean energy movements ng China and ng Biden administration. Let me read to you a very positive news just happened 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, nuclear, nagkaroon ng nuclear moves. You're seeing this one. I'm gonna read to you the news. U.S. is seeking a $4.3 billion for nuclear fuel to wean off Russia's supply. The plan would boost enriched uranium purchases from U.S. producers and requiring approval from Congress. I think the Congress is gonna approve this. So this has been very positive towards nuclear energy plants. We've been discussing about the need for the world, not just U.S., not just China, but also the Philippines, to invest in clean energy investments. And we are already seeing that that translate quite strongly. Let me show to you the movements worldwide of just recently, Joe Biden, about 2 days ago, reported exiting the tariff war with USA. That means that solar panels can be achieved in US at a very cheap rate, 25% discounts or 15% cheaper for about 2 years. That should wean off the inflation and should also help avert the energy crisis in the US that's happening all over the world. Also, news on the positive side, to give you, mas round up news for you, not just a Philippine context, exporting of Chinese goods have been very positive. So we all know that China reopened as of June, and we also know that worldwide manufacturing has deployed many arenas. So Apple just recently on their Worldwide Developers Conference just shared that they are adding more supplies in Vietnam. So what we are seeing here, guys, is that if China is able to buy Russian oil at a discount, and China can basically send their manufacturing goods or their solar panels to USA, it will actually help increase the investments towards solar panel installations, especially for American households. This was very positive towards Sunrun and SunPower and a lot of solar panels. I'm going to show you the movement there. This is Sunrun on the move last day, and the gap up yan. You see this gap up, this move. Okay, Sunrun, for those who aren't informed, is actually one of the largest, if not the top two na nga to largest installer. And then they buy all of those solar panels, mostly from China. And as I said, in the Philippines, in the Philippine context, my guess is that ASLAG or SPNEC or ASEN, all of these solar panels are being bought from China. They're not producing because we in the Philippines do not produce our solar panels, and we shouldn't aspire to produce our solar panels. What we should do as a country is to buy these solar panels, which are cheaply and efficiently scaling in China, and just really install it in the Philippines. So that is very positive for more clean energy boosters. That should be that's a positive cost kasi solar panel is a cost. So let's say we know that the IPO proceeds of Raslag is supposed to be Raslag 4 and Raslag 5, correct? If they spent 800 million pesos to build the Raslag 3, that was a PPI, 70% bank loan, 30% equity. That means that on the 4 and 5, if Raslag can build solar panels at a cheaper cost, we're talking about 30% cheaper, 25% cheaper because of those tariff panel duties. That's positive kasi the more demand, as we know, pag nag-double up yung scale of demand worldwide, magiging mas mura yung solar panels, ma-affect pati Philippines, ma-affect yung buong mundo. That is a positive transition towards solar. It's not going to be just positive towards ASLAG all the way. It's also positive for all, ASEN and SPNEC. So it's actually positive for all the solar power producers, including Aboitiz Power. Yes, because Aboitiz Power, we argued, has 1,500 megawatts capacity all over the Philippines that isn't being priced in my view, in the market. So there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to renewable energy in the Philippines. We talked about commodities. We said that commodity tankers are going up because there's a lot of demand being bought on commodities. What are these commodities that are being bought? Lithium, uranium, nickel. Why? Nickel, copper, oil, yes. So food, diba? Fertilizers. Okay, why is it happening? Because everyone in the world is trying to be self-sufficient. Even the Philippines, diba? We've seen how I've seen in a supermarket yung mga hamburgers right now, imbis na lechugas, instead of lettuce, they're now putting cabbage because naubos na rin yung lettuce. I think this was happening in some part of the world. Of course, in the Philippines, we talked about the Jollibee French fries, the McDonald's French fries, the Randy's Donuts, all of these problems on the food production because we just import. So that is still a main theme, and you can see that most of the prices of commodities have been going up. Let's show to you what's happening worldwide. So lithium, all of the lithiums. Why are lithium going up? No, lithium stocks are a function of batteries for EVs. So lithium, when it's going up, is also very positive for what? Nickel. So Nickel Asia, you can see right now in the Philippines going up. We've argued, diba, when it was dropping, we said, okay lang yan, 6.50 all the way to $6, 6 peso for Nickel Asia was my buying zone. Because we don't see the secular trend ending, i.e., we see that the world has no choice but to invest in a lot of batteries. And when it comes to batteries, it needs lithium and nickel. So lithium, nickel, copper, to be more exact. Because the solid-state batteries haven't been built yet, or even if it's being built, wala pang proof na it's super strong. So most of the EVs right now, whether it be Tesla or the Chinese XPengs and EVs, XPeng or NIO and the Auto, which are given subsidies by China nowadays, they will all have to source all of their batteries from Philippine companies or Indonesian companies that have nickel. So that is very positive for Nickel Asia. So actually, it's not just positive for Nickel Asia. You're seeing, of course, that movement even of FNI. The global ferronickel, di ba? Umangat naman yan. So, yan dyan pa rin yan. Uptrend pa rin yan. And then you're seeing, tingnan natin yung mark natin. Tingnan natin yung mga, well, most of the time, the Philippines only just buys from Nickel Asia. But it's also positive, of course, because nickel prices worldwide, lahat ng nickel miners, small to medium size, are also getting buyers, no? So, lahat yan buyer, up move pa rin. You're seeing uptrends on nickel mark FNI. All right, what we've seen recently is Ayala Land went up. We're seeing that area nga, we were arguing, di ba, ng mga 28 areas, we're saying, Ayala Land's gonna go higher. Indeed, we saw that because of the support here at Ayala Land at 27 before, during the 2020 prices, no? Okay, nowadays, because Ayala Land has risen to 32, there might be resistance about 34. So, ingat lang. But of course, if Ayala Land is going up, we can see Ayala Corp is rising as well. Ayala Corp kasi is largely tied with Ayala Land. So you're seeing that Ayala Corp is trading below 705. There's a huge chance that Ayala Corp will also rally, although may resistance dito sa 750 to 760. Nonetheless, given the situation Ayala Land going up, there is a tradable journey for Ayala Corp to probably rise about 730, 740. Okay, a lot of people are asking about the solar. So let's just go through ASLAG, all of these solar plays. For ASLAG, we don't know what's going to happen because new IPOs, it's really difficult to find support. It's really difficult to know where the support lies. Although, what we are seeing here is that very low volume yung drops here. And a strong volume happened here wherein 225 was the average price. So the first resistance for ASLAG, even in a very short-term standpoint, is the 225. That is your resistance because the prior support becomes resistance. At the same time, yes, we've seen the lows of about 185. That is a 52-week low. But of course, it could break down. We don't know. It could break down. But because this is very low volume means that wala ring strong sellers. So it could actually stay sideways, pwedeng ganyan. But if it's gonna be bullish, it has to break above this resistance of 225. So pwedeng matulog yan, pwede rin mag-downtrend. I'm not quite sure. But of course, we're bullish on the secular trend of solars. I'm gonna show to you how solar movements worldwide have been lurking worldwide. So TAN, Invesco Solar ETF, is a very strong ETF of all the solar companies worldwide. So it owns like the top solar panels. And since we said that China is really going to benefit on the solar panel tariff, Jinko Solar just went almost a breakout of the past 2-year high, 2021 to 2022. So you saw that, the breakout move yan, si Jinko Solar. A lot of Chinese solars are making a strong move. Yan, no? Si Jinko Solar, si 3800, 968, umaangat din, but not as strong. Pero okay naman, nandiyan din, up rin. Of course, may Canadian Solar, yan mga solar panels, no? Up sila. So solar panels, solar installers, and mga microinverters. Sa Philippines, we don't have yung mga solar panel makers. Wag na rin tayo mag-ambisyon. So what we can only do in the Philippines is to be a solar farmer. Okay naman, we are trying to produce energy. So parang utility scale. So in terms of utility scale, those are yung mga next era energy. Which if you take a look on the long run, no, good siya. Good yung mga movements ng mga energy providers. So whether it be Sampler, I think number one na energy utility provider in America. So next era energy is usually investing in renewable. It may be hydropower, it may be solar, wind, nuclears, gas, lahat yan eh. So parang in the Philippines, similar yan. Si NI and si BEP, the same yan. We talked about this in the previous Awesome10X last week, no? About how we came up with the valuation for ASLAG and how we're comparing ASLAG versus local and worldwide peers. So in terms of the worldwide peers, Brookfield ang tingin kong galaw because Brookfield is growing but also paying dividends. In this case, this Brookfield pays $1 dividend every year. So you're seeing na from $10 yan, nag-$36 yan, and paying $1 every year. So if you're investing since 2009, bawi mo na yung $1 every year kasi. So yung 10 mo naging $15,000 plus yung $10 mo nag-up pa ng 36. So that's how I see the market is pricing in a potential dividend and growth play for ASLAG. But of course, that's not just true for ASLAG. Also, the truth for Aboitiz Power, I think the same, no? We're bullish on Aboitiz Power, and we came up with our Awesome10X coverage on Aboitiz Power. You can see it here. Just look it up. We said that just go to it. Awesome10X. And actually, you can go do that. Let's go lang. So for those who are new here, please subscribe to Awesome10X. It's a free YouTube channel. Wait lang. Go to the Aboitiz Power coverage. Aboitiz Power Awesome10X. I covered that in detail. This one, growing renewable energy for a balanced portfolio. So I like it. We made a deep dive on these issues, no? We like Aboitiz Power and Aboitiz Equity Ventures. So far, so good. Still uptrend. And I think that when you're investing in mga clean energy, you should be looking on a more balanced portfolio there. So positive naman yan. I think it's still gonna go 36 for Aboitiz Power. AEV, umangat na, nag-52 na yan. So some people might be taking profits after a rally from the recent dip. Pero still bullish on the two entities, no? So bullish pa rin tayo on the Aboitizes in general. I'm bullish on energy in general. Okay, in terms of news, so this is just telling you na they sold the 52.5 million shares, yung over allotment, they had the stabilization. And then let's just take a look at this news. Wala akong Abacor, no? So I didn't know na yung restructuring ng Abacor ended up being a 7x move. So pardon because I don't really look too much on a lot of these issues, no? Hindi masyado tumitingin ng restructuring issues. But yeah, Abacor has gone from 20 cents to about 1.5. Nag-7x to from 3 years ago. So nag-restructure siya. What exactly did they do to achieve that 700% gain? I'm going to read to you the movements. So as of June 3, 2022, says here that we thank Mrs. Mandanas for guiding Abacor throughout the years, especially during the COVID pandemic. So umalis na raw si Attorney Mandanas. Okay, so she was departed president. The financial results we're showing here, the income from loss 2020 to a 5 billion peso income. Revenue for 2021 amounted to 430 million, together with trading gains of 143 million pesos as a result of strategic sale of properties, JVs with partners, and other regular trading activities. So they basically sold off properties, and as such, they were able to partially recapture a reflection of their fair value and their growing property values. So this was more of a value appreciation play through land sales early part of 2022 to the Gaisano Group, to a retail conglomerate for their cattle operation. So mostly nasa disposal, selling. That's why their income amounted to 5 billion pesos with an earnings per share of about 1 peso 20 cents per share. So they unlocked the value by simply selling because they were trading way below book value. Therefore, they had a 1 times PE ratio for the company over the last 2 to 3 years. So that's why they had that movement. As a result, total retained earnings right now is 10 billion pesos. And given their strong financial results, they are giving a 10 centavo dividend, broken down into a 9 centavo property dividend in the form of pride shares to be a public company, 1 centavo cash dividends primarily for the shareholders. The fractional shares are not allowed, so they will give cash for those na fraction. Okay, emphasize that this does not preclude the company from declaring another dividend at the end of this calendar year. Debt to equity remains at very healthy levels. It's now from 0.15 to 1. It's now 0.05 to 1. So we are seeing that this was more of a restructuring play and a distressed asset that had become unlocked. We will be able to have Abacor Service and Investment Gateway in the province of Batangas, and so on. What company is doing the same thing? So we know that BHI recently has been sold to the Razon Group. And so far, we felt that it was a tradable play, so we also went long. So far naman, BHI has been rising. You can see that since that news, there was a pullback here. That was a profit-taking pullback here at 9 cents, and then continuous straight to about 11 cents now. While I don't know how to value BHI, I would say that the valuations might have been presenting Razon a very great value for their property, such that it is still trading at a potential move to 12 cents or 15 cents. No, so let's read to you the news on BHI in case you aren't aware that there was a stake sale that happened recently on the BHI group. BHI, Boulevard Holdings. So let's just read through that. Nagkaroon yan ng news netong this day. Kailan ba yun? This one yan mga May 18. So let's go through that news. May 18, ito yan. Material information, May 19. Okay. So here, it says here that BHI sold the property, entering an agreement with Soler Entertainment for a land located in Paniman area, Ternate, Cavite, with a selling price of 5,000 pesos, 50 cents, 5,050 pesos per square meter. So that has, of course, increased the valuation for BHI because that is a cash sale. It also tells you that if BHI owns a lot of properties, they can engage in JVs or sell stakes either to Razon or to other property magnates that have plans to invest within the Cavite site. This is a 281,000 square meters. So gawin na lang natin 300,000 times 5,000. So 300,000 times 5,000, 300 times 5 is 1.5 billion pesos. So that's a huge amount of money. Na it's very positive towards BHI. And what's BHI's valuation today? Let's just see on the analytics here. BHI is trading at, what is the market cap of BHI? Shares, fundamental, volume, technical. Okay, BHI, A, B, C, D, E. BHI, okay, market cap is 1.35 billion. Shares outstanding, 12 billion shares. So I guess the market is pricing in BHI's valuation based on that property sale. I don't know if BHI has other properties furthermore and if BHI has other utang. But most likely, it will pay off those loans and be able to sell. Kaya the market is pricing in BHI on a positive note. Should be a look, no? Might be a good look. Let me see as well on TUGS. Magkano ba TUGS ngayon? Market cap lang. Tugs right now is trading at 840 million, and so that means that Tugs is trading at about 4 times multiple kasi it just earned 200 million, which makes Tugs medyo cheap, no? Yeah, pwede siyang umangat pa because it is still cheap. So we look at a bullish play here on Tugs. Medyo bullish tayo on shippers as long as it will earn income and hopefully pay cash dividends as a result. Okay, let's read through your questions if ever. Miss Nikki, your thoughts on first gen. Sorry, wala akong thoughts sa ATI. That is a terminal, no? Wait, I'll try to put it on my watch list. Asian terminal. So there's no volume. Actually, I don't look at it kasi wala ring volume, no? So walang volume. So we can't trade that. Walang liquidity. FGen, I think, is a liquefied natural gas. Here in about 18 pesos, I do believe that there's value, and most likely there's a lot of buyers between 15 to 18. So there's a lot of buyers before here about 15 pesos and 16 pesos. And it got stuck here at 33, 34 because supposedly there was a tender offer, diba? I'm not sure if hindi natuloy, kaya siguro bumagsak. So, but then again, if First Gen is reporting earnings naman, it actually returned up. Pero, yeah, so I don't think negatively too much. Pero since downtrend pa siya, there's no stopping if it goes from 18 to 16 or 15. But there might be value players at 18 to 15 for FGen. Something to look at as well, if Ayala Land and SM Prime are going up, not saying that I'm very bullish on properties, but it might be positive for Mega World because it's trading at about 2.5 here, 2.68. So I see that it's near support. So just like when we saw Ayala Land was trading at 28 pesos, it seems to be extended to the downside. Might actually have a value play within these levels, no? From 250 area to 240 areas. I think there's a lot of players here that's also looking at a bargain area for Mega World. Might want to check it out. Ano pa ba? Well, maraming inflationary themes. So, of course, residential properties are not the top go-to spending for the Filipinos. I'm not saying that inflation isn't going to hit the Philippine market. It will. But even though it will hit the Philippine market, you have to take a look at the ranges here of PSEI. Your PSEI is likely trading within a range of about 6,000 to 7,000, no? So as you go higher to about 7K, you get a seller, no? So that would be your SMs and SM Primes already running at resistance. Nasa resistance na yung SM Prime, no? At 40 pesos, it got knocked down. And SM as well at 900, it got knocked down. Didn't hit 900, nasa 860, but when it does 900, it is gonna get knocked down. So I think the Philippines is still stuck in a trading range. And what you want to do in the Philippines is either look for mga industries that you believe are going up. We argued the industries that are going up are commodities. So coal has been rising, no? Semirara. But then again, Semirara at about 36, 37, marami din sellers dyan, no? So nasa uptrend resistance na rin siya. Could also go back down to 31, 30. So we wait again. Might be taking profits here. The MCI is trading at about 950 area. So maraming resistance din dito, previous high. So buy low, sell high, I think is the mantra for the Philippine market. If it's low, you can buy. If it's high, might have to think twice. Yeah. Let's see. Market is still open, pero ano ba yung mga losers today? AEV, hindi. 1% down lang yan. Yeah. From the most active trades, I think it's mostly index issues. Okay. Yung ASEN, di ba? So ASEN has been rising din. So I forgot to say. So solar, tatlo lang yung solar companies na pure play. So ASEN has been going up. Although si ASEN, hindi siya solar pure play. They've got, bumibili rin siya mga battery energy services, which is a good thing. So ano to, renewable energy yung diskarte ni ASEN. Similar to Aboitices. Looks okay. Umangat na siya from 6 to 7. I argue though that it's gonna trade within a range. I think it's 7 to 9 with a lot of sellers pressure here at 9. So similar yan sa Aboitiz Power, but between the two, I find Aboitiz cheaper. So yan, trading range 28 to 36 for Aboitiz Power. I think ASEN is in a trading range. Trading range muna siya for the next few months until the next catalyst. Natanggal yung catalysts ni ASEN dahil yun sa mga dilution, mga hangover on mga shares, mga placements, ganon. So I think ASEN has been distributing 3 shares of ASEN for all AC Energy shareholders. So that should put some pressure if it rallies ng 850 or 9. That means every AC shareholder is now a proud buyer, a proud owner of ASEN as well. If you were able to buy before the cutoff date, the record date was I think May 27. So lahat ng mga bumili dito, may free shares sila ng ASEN as a property div. Okay, and that would also impact ASEN shares eventually. Siguro dito sa mga 850 may selling pressure. For AXLAG, I think we can only suggest right now to watch how things go. We find it cheap. I personally find it cheap, but of course, the market will have to dictate what it will trade at. So habang below IPO siya sa 2 pesos, it's actually trading in a price na nobody knows yet. No? So it's below resistance, first resistance 225, then another resistance at 2 pesos. You have to break 2 and 225 to see an uptrend reversal upwards. But we think that over time, no, it's well, ako lang naman, I think over time it will go up. But yun. Same thing for the IPOs. I'm also bullish on CPS. So I think that the US markets have been recently going up. So it's in a bear market rally, no? The US is in a bear market rally. And so if your view is that the CTS Global, the traders can actually make some money over the rally, then you should assume na on May kasi nag-support yung market sa US. So my sense is that medyo kumita yung mga traders dyan. So from 80, I think it's gonna go back to first resistance, piso muna. Yung resistance mo sa piso. It's still got resistance, no? 1 and 120. Baka maging ganyan yung movement ng ASLAG. So just be careful. Resistance yung 2, baka mag-support sa 180 or 160. Either way, I think there's a lot of buyers. And the way I see it, since solar is a more secular trend na mas energy efficient naman talaga for the Filipinos, and you've got solar panels, as I said, going down the prices, it should be positive for me to invest in solar energy plays. Not na medyo cheap, no? So that's really how I view it. Fundamental yung basis ko on my targeting on ASLAG, not technical. Kung technicals, wala tayong masasabi kasi breakdown siya below 2, breakdown siya below 22 at 225. So those two are your resistances. Until it breaks 225, cannot say if ASLAG will go down or go up. That's all we can say, no? Parang we like fundamentals, but technicals, that's another beast in itself. The happy thing that I can tell you from a technical standpoint is that all the solar companies worldwide are going up, re-rating up. So Sunrun, SunPower, gonna show to you them, lahat sila up. So ang maganda doon, positive yung correlation on the solar names abroad. SunPower up yan, no? Since May, from 13 to 19. Run from 18, 17 to 28, no? Laki ng move. Enphase, laki ng move niyan, 200 to 300. Sorry, 130 to 200. Solar Edge yung 200 to 300. Boom. So lahat ng solars malakas. So I would say na you're in a positive industry. So not a problem. Okay, so there's not much questions. And I don't think there's much to be discussed in the Philippines, except that low volume, stick to buying low and selling high because we're in a trading range. That means that if your SMs and SM primes are near high, probably trim. For those who have ASLAG, a little bit disappointing after the IPO, but I don't think it's over. It's just a matter of waiting and seeing where RASLAG 3. I think the next catalyst is the power plant, the RASLAG 3, as well as potential deals going forward. What are the future deals? Possibly more JVs after the 4 and 5. We don't know. Baka meron silang other projects. But for now, syempre, the most intermediate catalyst is commencing the RASLAG 3. So more material information on RASLAG 3 power plant and I think more of the impact towards the location Central Luzon. So that's positive for all the solar and siguro yung feed-in tariff. I think that would be a positive news if we can get a glimpse of RASLAG 4 and 5 possibly getting tariffs. No? Feed-in tariffs would be a good news if ever. Sige, thank you. That's it. Bye-bye.